Boy, Dave Brown here at ringside, ready to go with another day of USWA Championship Wrestling. Looks like we got a young king over there, right there, one of the future stars of the USWA, perhaps. Glad you're with us here today. Boy, we've got a good one lined up for you today. Lots of new talent in the territory we'll be taking a look at. Some of them look big and mean, and we'll have them out here for you in matches in just a few moments. And familiar names here, too, the fabulous ones. Boy, I want to talk to them about some of the things that have been going on. Matt Bourne will be back today. Tennessee stud Robert Fuller is scheduled to be back in the ring right here today. The new kids, Brian and Tony, will be here a bit later on, too. All of that's coming up. You stay with us. We're going to be back with all this great new talent and some fine, fine matches in just a moment. Turner Nutrish is a special... The fabulous one scheduled to go in our opening match here today. On their way to the ring, let's see if we can stop. Oh, here comes Jimmy Cornette. Decked out in absolutely, he's got some horrible ones, but Cornette's got one of the worst-looking outfits on I've ever seen here today. You guys, well, you're wearing the World Tag Team titles around the waist, Jimmy Cornette, no doubt about that.
Let me ask you a question. Where do you people get off? You come out here, you boo us, you yell at us, you don't know what you want. Last week they wanted the Fabs, now they want Lawler and Dundee.
I tell you what, let me just stop you right there, as a matter of fact, before you put down the fans. I tell you what the fans are upset about, what we're upset about, and you know, take a look at what happened last week.
I enjoy looking at this stuff. I'll look at this all day long.
I don't enjoy it, but take a look at what happened to Jerry Lawler from these guys last week, right now.
The Fabs are back, and it's great to be back. And, brother, we're going to make sure. What's the matter, Dave? Huh? You know what? I ruined a perfectly good tennis racket.
And that's why the fans aren't that thrilled to see you. You did it for money, no doubt.
You know, I heard some genetic defect over here in the studio audience. He said that's the only way they could do it, jumping from behind. Well, that wasn't the only way we could do it. That was just the easy way to do it. Because let me tell you something. I'll tell you what the hardest thing about the whole thing was. The hardest thing was going out in these arenas, going out amongst these people, shaking their grimy hands, kissing their stinking babies on the face with the snot running down into their mouth. That was the hardest thing, trying to make these people believe that we cared about them. Because let me tell you something, we've been big dogs in this business for a long time now. We're the World Tag Team Champions once again, and we're used to making big money. Now everybody's giving us a lot of slack for taking Terry Funk's money. Well, Terry Funk's been a big star for 20 years, made movies in Hollywood, been the NWA World Champion. Now he's the USWA World Champion. He's got a big ranch out in Amarillo. He's got a lot of money. And if he wants to spend a few $100,000 of his money to make his life as champion a little more comfortable, then that's exactly what I think he ought to do, and I think we ought to be the ones to collect it. And I'm also sure that from judging from the reaction of all these women around here, these big, fat, ugly, corn-fed women, they're glad to finally see some real men back in this area because they're starved for the sight of them. Now, I talked to Terry Funk on the phone just shortly before we went on the air today, and I got a little announcement to make. If you morons will hold on for a second, I got a little announcement to make. You see, Jeff Jarrett is the new Southern Heavyweight Champion. And as such, he's one of the top two contenders for the World Heavyweight title, the other one being Jerry the King Lawler. Now, we already got finished with Eddie Gilbert. We collected $50 grand on him. That opened up that spot which Jeff filled. So Terry Funk informs me that in addition to the $50,000 being out on Jerry Lawler, there's now $50,000 out on Jeff Jarrett. And, brother, that's right up our alley. Because Jeff Jarrett, you little stinking suicide blonde, died by his own hands. You little stinking pencil-neck geek, we're going to take you out for $50 grand, too, just like we're going to take Jerry Lawler out. Because this week, Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee won another shot. We beat the stinking brains out last week. We almost got the job done on Lawler. It's a little tougher than what we thought, but we're going to get that done this week. with Lawler and Dundee for free. Just, you know, he's got kind of like one of those little trial sizes. We're going to get Bill Dundee done for free, and then we're coming after Jeff Jarrett. And then whoever gets to those top 2 contender spots, the fabulous ones, the baddest, roughest, meanest tag team, the World Tag Team Champions, they're going to take them out. They're going to break their backs because, brother, there ain't no 2 construction workers, ain't no 2 ditch diggers, ain't no 2 rednecks in this area, ain't no 2 men on the face of this earth that can beat these guys up in a fight or a wrestling match. Lawler and Dundee this week, Jeff Jarrett real soon, and then whoever gets to those spots, Terry Funk's going to pay us real well. We're making big bucks at this. This is better than the lottery. Dave, we got a couple of guys to beat up. Look at these 2, the Bobsey twins. We got a couple of guys.
Drop on these 2 guys and a couple of Scud missiles.
Stanley and Steve Kern, the fabulous ones, and doing all the talking, most of the talking there. Jimmy Cornette, tennis racket in hand, their manager. We are just about set to go with tag team action. The fabulous ones will be going against Jerry Lynn and Cody Michaels, who have been patiently waiting and listening to all the things that Cornette was having to say. Scott Bowden, the referee.
You see what I mean here? The people in this area, the women in this area are starved for the sight of real men. These 2 guys look like a couple of living Cabbage Patch dolls, and the referee looks like a grown-up beaver cleaver.
Billy, I think you've just about insulted everyone in the USWA territory in the last 2.5 minutes. You got to prove it in the ring. The fabulous ones will have to be considered heavy favorites in this match. By the way, even though they are the world champions, this is a non-title match. The belts are not at stake in this particular one.
Belts up. Let's make this a title match. What's the matter with you, Dave? Let's give all the people at home a chance to see some champions.
Sounds good to me if you want to make it a title match. We have had situations where upsets have occurred right here on this television program in which championship belts have changed hands just in that situation. So, Mr. Cornette, if you want to put the belts on the line, that's fine, and I'm sure Cody Michaels and Jerry Lynn won't mind. And I'm sure the promoters won't mind, too. So you're going to make this a championship match?
Sure, we're going to put these belts up because these guys couldn't stand a chance, and you don't want to beating us anyway. So we'll let all these 6 shut-ins at home. And believe me, from last week when I went down to that arena, there's a lot of people that ought to be shut in that ain't. We're going to let them see some real champions. Take a look at these belts. They've already nice.
I see the belts. The USWA World Tag titles, which are held by the fabulous ones. Starting out for the fabulous one, Cody Michaels for his team. Cody Michaels. Yeah, there's a hip toss by Stan Lane. There's nothing wrong with that move.
Look at this, Dave. This studio audience looks like a massive monument to genetic inefficiency. I've never seen anything like this in my life. And that's like I said, that's the only thing I can't tolerate. We actually had to be nice to these people for a couple of weeks in order to get that idiot Lawler in the right position. But don't worry, we're going to rectify that and say, hey, wait a minute. He pulled a tight.
He didn't pull the tight. He just put a good move on in there. You sure you want to keep this a title match, Jimmy Cornette? Cornette up yelling at the referee and Cody Michaels. Yeah, look at Cornette screaming up there. He pulled his tight. He did not. But Cornette is a master at using that deception. Complain to the referee. Get the referee looking more closely at your opponent than you do at when he does at your team. Yeah, hair pulling. Yeah, now he's screaming hair pulling. Come on. He's accusing him of everything. Nice move. Cody Michaels able to hang on. Steve Kern had put a move on him, but he was able to hold on and maintain the advantage. Tag is made now. Here comes Jerry Lynn. He nails Kern with a right hand, wraps up that left arm. Glad you fans have joined us here today. Remember, USWA going to be in action all around the territory. In Louisville Gardens Tuesday night, and Evansville on Wednesday night. Nashville at the fairgrounds tonight. In Memphis, of course. Jimmy Cornette steamed, but Cornette has said just moments ago, in case you missed it, Jeff Jarrett has been added to the bounty. $60,000 now on his head as the new Southern champion.
You see, these punks obviously saw what we did to Lawler and Dundee last week. We left left them laying in the middle of the ring, face down with their toes sticking in their ears. They obviously saw that, so now they're breaking every rule in the book to try to gain an advantage on the Fabulous One. But like I said, there ain't no two men alive can take these guys, and especially not Jerry Lynn and Cody Michaels.
Look at Jerry Lynn. He just jumped right over Steve Kern, let him go by, and now Steve Kern finds himself on the mat. Jerry Lynn hangs onto that left arm. Stan Lane started in there, but referee Scott Bowden was right there to stop that. Jimmy Cornette over here pleading his case. And again, I haven't seen these rules violations that Cornette is talking about, but I caution you, that's one of the Cornette tactics. And it sometimes works. Jerry Lynn moved out of the way. Steve Kern hit the mat. He slapped at the tag, and apparently he got the tag on Stan Lane. It was difficult from our position to see for sure, but Stan Lane is in there now. Jerry Lynn trying to get to the corner, and the tag on Cody Michaels, he made it. The referee did not see that tag, however. The referee was over in the corner dealing with Steve Kern. Well, I beg your pardon. Cody Michaels is allowed to stay in there, so apparently that tag was all right. We know the tag did, in fact, occur. Cody Michaels thrown out of the ring, down on the floor. Steve Kern, drives him back into the ring, hard on the lower part of his back. Cody Michaels in pain down here on the floor. Look out, Steve Kern with a chair across his back. And now Jimmy Cornette quickly sits down in that chair at ringside as if to say, I've been here all along. There's no way he could have used that just in case the referee should ask. There's Cody Michaels. His back is hurt, no doubt about it. Kern backed him into that ring hard and then smacked him with that folding metal chair. Stan Lane makes the tag. Steve Kern will be the official man in the ring now.
Can you see it? Can you see all them corn-fed, big fat farm women at home right now sitting in front of their television, slobbering, drooling, nearly electrocuting themselves because they want to get a hold of the Fabulous Ones and these fabulous bodies? Can you see that, Dave? You don't know what a woman in lust looks like, do you, Dave Brown? I didn't think you did. They are the greatest thing that there has ever been in professional wrestling, brother. And I can hardly wait to get a hold of Lawler and Dundee again and prove that. And then Jeff Jarrett, 50 grand. I don't know what to do with all this money. But I'll think of something.
You don't have all the money yet. You may have the $50,000 from Eddie Gilbert being run out of here, but you don't have the money yet. You have not defeated Jerry Lawler. You have not put him out of action. And the Jeff Jarrett bounty, if it exists.
They're going to inspire all these rednecks out here with the beer bellies to start working out. Say you have a buddy, too. Maybe then their women will want to stay home with them.
The words of Jimmy Cornette. Cornette up on the ring apron, diverting the referee's attention. Cody Michaels has got Stan Lane's shoulders down to the mat, but Steve Kern jumped in there and interfered with it. The referee never saw that the shoulders were down because of Cornette, who the referee was trying to get down off the ring apron. Boy, I tell you, you put Cornette with the Fabulous Ones, and you have got some kind of wrestling machine. Nice move by Jerry Lynn. He took both the Fabulous Ones off their feet. Now he puts a body slam on Steve Kern. Kern back up on his feet. Jerry Lynn backs him into the corner. He tried to whip him across the way. Jerry Lynn catches himself after the reversal. Presses Kern down. Count is 2. Stan Lane jumped in there. The referee stopped the count at that point. Cody Michaels trying to get him to keep him out of it, but a little too late. The referee had already broken the count. Oh, my goodness, the tennis racket. You saw it. Jimmy Cornette smacked Jerry Lynn with a tennis racket. Count of 1, 2, and 3. It's over. 6 minutes, 8 seconds of action. Oh, the tennis racket across the back of Cody Michaels. He'd already had the back injured earlier. And look at that down on the floor, jabbing him with a tennis racket. There comes Lawler in to help out. He's got a garbage can to kind of even things up. It's a coffee maker, iced tea dispenser is what that is. He just grabbed something, apparently, to come in and help out, and it did get rid of the Fabulous Ones and Jimmy Cornette, who do have the victory again in a little over 6 minutes. But I got to tell you, Cody Michaels and Jerry Lynn gave a great account of themselves, and it took not only the Fabulous Ones, but Jimmy Cornette and the tennis racket to finally wrap it up and give the Fabulous Ones their victory in this particular match. We'll take a break. There's much more action to go. We'll have I will show you some interesting video of Jeff Jarrett when we return. Jeff Jarrett, the Golden Boy, the All-American, former holder of the Southern Heavyweight title. Traditionally, the Southern Heavyweight title holder has been the #1 contender for the World Belt. That World Belt, as I'm sure you know by now, especially after listening to Cornette, held by Terry Funk. Well, Jeff Jarrett lost the Southern Heavyweight title a number of months ago, but with a vacated Southern Heavyweight title, a one-night tournament was held, and I'm happy to announce to you, if you don't already know, that Jeff Jarrett is the new Southern Heavyweight champion. Take a look at how he did it.
Lee picking Jarrett up off the floor, runs him right into the metal railing. Jarrett, the eye is not in his favor, and the fact that downtown Bruno, the weasel of wrestling, is at ringside. Not only at ringside, but up on the ring apron as Brian Lee chokes Jeff Jarrett and tosses him over the top rope. Jarrett hangs on, flips back in, scoops Brian Lee up, down for the cover, count of 3, and a very quick victory for Jeff Jarrett, who is the new Southern Heavyweight champion.
Well, to the chance of Weasel, you know who's here, downtown Bruno. Oh, here comes Robert Fuller, too.
I am very proud to announce to all these idiots and all these rednecks out here the return of the Tennessee Stud, my best friend in the whole world. I'm talking about Robert Fuller and the brand new Stud stable. Talk to him, Uncle Rob.
This is a fine man, guys. I want you to meet downtown Bruno. This man's got the news when you come to Tennessee and this area. You know, I'm glad to be back here, and I know people are wondering out there. Everybody's screaming for my new stable. I'm going to be introducing them to you. But everybody's wondering, why do you have the Tennessee stable? What's he doing in this area? He's been campaigning all over the world. Well, he's back. I heard they got themselves a new Southern champion. I'm talking about my good friend, Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett, don't feel safe when the Stud's back, or none of his boys, because you ain't got no right to. And I hear also that there's a lot of money going around here. I'm talking about bounty kind of money, reward kind of money, for taking out a good for nothing like Jerry Lawler. I'd take Jerry Lawler out, boys, for no money at all. So I know when it comes down to getting some bread. Curtis, right now, ladies, here's a special surprise for everybody. I got the U.S. mail. Curtis Thompson with me. Curtis, take over the mic.
Hey, what can I say? You're looking at the U.S. mail. I'm 247 pounds, ladies. Ain't nothing like my sex appeal. I'm twisted steel and sex appeal, and I'm coming at you live because I am Curtis Thompson of U.S. mail. Hey, ladies, when I get in the ring, hey, they love me. Well, what can I say?
Curtis Thompson, the U.S. Mail. You've got another group over here with you, too.
I sure do. I got the North American Heavyweight Champions tag team right here. I'm talking about the Pit Bulldogs. Pit Bulldogs mean, son, they get hold of you right about sundown and don't let go all night long. Am I right, boys?
That's right, baby. It's rabid wrecks and psychotic fights. We're nuts. We're bad. There isn't a tag team in this world that can stop us. We get in the ring, we mean business. And losing is not in our vocabulary, baby. And what do we also have here is a combination of size, speed, and strength. And we're going to show everyone out there in Tennessee what it's all about. To come from the north and kick some butt. Yeah.
You know, now, boys, I'd like to gather you all around just real quick. I don't want to take up a lot of wrestling time, but I'd like to tell you a little story. I know you're all going to enjoy it. I went home the other night, got out of my car, my old dog come running up to the car there. There's a moral to this story, by the way. Come running up to the car there to say hello to me. I reached out and I got hold of his collar, and I kicked that dang dog around so much, he went a hollering. You could hear him all over the hills there in Tennessee. People said, Stud must be home because he's whooping Bubba. Well, when I got done with my dog Bubba, he come over and he laid his head down in my lap, and he looked up at me with them old brown dog eyes, and I could tell what he was saying, didn't say a word.
He said, Stud, I love
That's exactly what he said, boys. He said, Son, I love you. Now, here's the moral. I realized right then, if you get something and you whip it really good and really right, you can make it like it. And that's exactly what we're going to do in this area. We're going to take care of business so good that when we get done with our opponents, all of them going to lay down there, put that old head down in your lap, look up at you, and they're going to say, boy, I love you. Now let's get it done. I like it. Let's get it done.
I think you can remember that day. Show some respect.
I don't think I want to remember that, to tell you the truth. Get them in the ring right now. Pit Bulldogs scheduled to go in a match here, and the Tennessee stud Robert Fuller has just introduced his new stud stable. The USWA Ring Girls escorting T.D. Steele and Danny Davis out here to ringside.
Ring girls, Dave. Probably because you were with them. You want to be around you, give you a bad breath.
Hey, you came wandering out here on your own and didn't wait for the escort, I suppose.
Yeah, the ratings went up 10 points as soon as downtown Bruno and a stud stable come out here, Dave.
Danny Davis, T.D. Steele set to do battle with this. This is a big, mean-looking group, let me tell you, that Robert Fuller has brought in here. A Pit Bulldog, Rabid Rex, and Psychotic Spike. Referee Scott Bowden calls for the bell to be rung. Danny Davis starts for his team. And it is Psychotic Spike for his team. They start complaining about...
Dave,
what?
Why does Danny Davis insist on grabbing the tights? Why does he have to cheat? Why can't he admit that he's facing a superior tag team and leave it at that and accept defeat humbly, with grace? Why must he cheat constantly, Dave? Because you like it. All these idiot rednecks like it. They like a cheater because they can't get anywhere on skill or ability. They have to cheat. Like right there, he was all in the man's hair. I could see it. Ray Charles could see that, Dave.
Well, fans, you were watching. There was no pulling of the tights. There was no hair pulling by Danny Davis. T.D. Steele in. Working on Psychotic Spike of the Pit Bulldogs. New to the territory, big and tough. Part of the stud stable introduced by Robert Fuller, along with the U.S. male.
Hey, Dave, you know what Pit Bulldogs do, don't you? They yank onto your flesh. They bite down, and they don't let go until they've defeated you, until they've crushed you, until you're finished. And that's exactly what they're going to do to Danny Davis and T.D. Steele and any other tag team that tries to mess with the Pit Bulldogs. Just like the name implies, Dave. Get down to that pit and fight, and don't stop until you win, until you conquer, until your adversary is suffering. And that's exactly what the Tennessee stud has instilled into this team. And he's hired downtown Bruno to see to it that these referees and these opponents give them a fair shake. And that's exactly what's happening here. As you can see, T.D. Steele laying there like a massive hulking mass of nothing.
The words of downtown Bruno. Uninvited commentary on USWA Championship Wrestling here today. Glad you joined us. Hope you'll be joining us at all the arenas around the territory. In Memphis, in Louisville, at the Gardens on Tuesday night. Wednesday at Evansville. The Fairgrounds in Nashville tonight. USWA action. These Pit Bulldogs you'll be seeing at some of those places around. They're a mean-looking bunch. They're not all that tall, but boy, they are muscular. They're stocky.
Exactly, David. Did you ever kick a fire hydrant? I got news for you, baby. They don't give. Not an inch. Not a millisecond, baby. That's the bottom line, Dave Brown. I don't see any tag team in the USWA going through the Pit Bulldogs, baby. I'm proud to be involved with the Pit Bulldogs. I'm proud of all my wrestlers. The great Terry Garvin, Primetime Brian Lee, the singing cowboy Don Bass. Now I'm associated once again with Robert Fuller. I've got the stud stable in my corner, baby, and I'm very proud. This is going to be downtown Bruno's year, and I can see it's going to be the year of the Pit Bulldogs, baby.
You can tell from the company that downtown Bruno has just announced that he keeps what kind of group that is, I think. Oh, look out, a double team here by the Pit Bulldogs, Rabid Rex and Psychotic Spike, as they dump T.D. Steele down on the mat.
How comes when those other guys do it, you call it teamwork, but when we do it, you call it cheating, Dave? You call it double teaming. I don't like that double standard. That's what we've got around here. You've got a double standard. You're always on everybody else's side except for downtown Bruno's, and I don't like it one little bit, Dave.
Not on really anybody's side, except I'm on the side of obeying the rules, and miraculously, anytime downtown Bruno has anything to do with a team, it seems that the rules are suddenly ignored most of the time. That's my complaint against downtown Bruno and the Pit Bulldogs as they double-teamed. They make a tag. That's teamwork right there. But look at this. One of them has T.D. Steele, picks him up in the air long after the tag has been made. Oh, my goodness. That may wrap it up. 1, 2. It is over.
Call the ambulance, Dave Brown. Turn out the lights. The party's over. And I would like to announce your winners right here on worldwide television. The Pit Bulldogs, part of the Tennessee Stud Stable with Downtown Bruno. I'm very proud.
4 minutes, 1 second the time on it, and the Pit Bulldogs have certainly shown that they are a formidable force to be dealt with in the USWA. We'll be back with more after this. Well, we want to take just a moment here to check some of the action coming up at the Mid-South Coliseum. USWA Ring Girls, I see, headed this way. They will be at the Mid-South Coliseum. And it will not be Monday night now. You know, we're always in the habit of saying and thinking Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum. But it is going to be Sunday night, tomorrow night at the Mid-South Coliseum. 7:30 is when it all begins there. And some great action coming up down there. Opening match of the night is going to be this one right here. Terry Garvin will be going against King Cobra. Next match, the New Kids will be going against Doug Gilbert and the Dirty White Boy. The New Kids, Brian and Tony, have really looked good in the USWA in recent weeks. And they're in tag team action at the Mid-South Coliseum tomorrow night. Following that, it's going to be a single match in which Danny Davis will be going against Awesome Kong. More about him later on today. Awesome Kong will have Reggie B. Fine in his corner. Should be an interesting single match coming up right there. Prime time, Brian Lee will then arrive in a single match to go against Chris Champion. Then, following that one, you've got those Pit Bulldogs that we just saw here, Rabid Rex and Psychotic Spike, part of the new stud stable introduced by the Tennessee stud Robert Fuller, and downtown Bruno announced that he is going to be around ringside to make sure that they get a fair shake from the fans and the referees and the other wrestlers. The Pit Bulldogs will be going against Jerry Lynn and Cody Michaels in a match at the Coliseum tomorrow night. Matt Bourne will be going against Jeff Gaylord. That one should be interesting to see right there, but it's not all. The first of what could be 2 main events anywhere in the country. The Southern Heavyweight title will be on the line. Jeff Jarrett, the new champion, as we told you earlier. He wastes no time in defending that belt, and look at the opposition. Talk about top opposition going after that Southern Heavyweight title. Robert Fuller, the Tennessee stud, has a shot at the Southern Heavyweight title held by Jeff Jarrett. That match will take place tomorrow night, too. Well, before I tell you about the main event right here, I see the King headed this way. Let me see if I can get around here so that we can maybe get a comment or two from the King about the action that he has coming up here. And I'm sure he'll want to say something about action which has already occurred. We showed you some videotape a little bit earlier of what happened last week, in case you missed it then, as the Fabulous One and Jimmy Cornette turned on him, looking for that $50,000 bounty. King, got a big night coming up tomorrow night.
That's exactly right. And I first of all want to say something. You know, I stood in the back and I listened to that wimp, Jimmy Cornette, stand out here and run that mouth and talk about these people right over here. And he said that what he hated was shaking hands and kissing babies. Well, let me tell you something, Jimmy Cornette. You look at these people right over here, and these are the same people that made the Fabulous Ones what they are today, brother. If it wasn't for these people right here, you or the Fabulous Ones would be absolutely nothing. And speaking of nothing, that's all Jimmy Cornette. He is the biggest nothing since the invention of the zero. If it wasn't for the Fabulous Ones, Jimmy Cornette, you'd still be running around the ring taking pictures of wrestlers like you should be doing in the first place. But Jimmy Cornette is just like the rest of these wrestling managers, just like Downtown Bruno, just like Jimmy Hart, just like Reggie B. Fine. All of these jerks what they are a bunch of leeches. I've said it before. They don't have any athletic ability of their own. So what they do is they attach themselves to somebody that can get the job done, just like Jimmy Cornette has done to the Fabulous Ones. He's attached himself to them just like a leech, and he siphons off a little bit of that money that they make, and he keeps it for himself. Well, let me tell you something, Steve and Stan. One of these days, you guys will smarten up. You guys will remember what Jackie Fargo taught you to begin with, and you'll get rid of that jerk. And the sooner the better. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to do you two guys a favor. I'm going to get rid of him for you. I'm going to personally take it on myself to do you in, Jimmy Cornette, once and for all. You see, we got a match coming up at the Mid-South Coliseum. Like I said, it's not Monday. It's tomorrow night, Sunday night. And we're going to be down there, me and the superstar, Bill Dundee. Now, Jimmy Cornette talks about the Fabulous Ones being the most popular tag team, the most successful tag team ever in the history of Memphis, Tennessee. Well, I got news for you. The most successful tag team to ever step foot in a ring in Memphis, Tennessee is the superstar, Bill Dundee, and Jerry the King Lawler, and don't you ever forget it. Now, if you got any doubts about that, we're going to prove it to you tomorrow night. You bring those titles down down to the Coliseum. You put them on the line because I know, Cornette, all that means anything to you is the almighty dollar. And those world titles you got represent money. So me and Dundee are not only going to beat up Steve and Stan, we're going to take away a little bit of that money by taking those titles away from you. And Cornette, just to make sure that you're no factor in this match at all, we've talked to Eddie Marlin, and we've got something added. You talk about Jeff Jarrett, you say that he's now going to be on the hit list too. Well, here's your chance to get him because he's going to be in our corner to make sure that you don't do anything out of line in that match. So now it's going to be the King and the Superstar with Jeff Jarrett against the Fabulous Ones and Jimmy Cornette. And Cornette, I got news for you, punk. I just don't think that Steve and Stan are going to be able to match up to the King and the Superstar. So take one good long last look at those belts, boys, because tomorrow night at the Mid-South Coliseum, that's what we're coming for. Not only to take those titles, but to take $50,000 out of your two rear ends. And Jimmy Cornette, I'm begging you, boy, just get close enough to that ringside, because I'd like to take my fist and shove it so far down your throat they'll need a crane to pull it out. And believe me, I'll do it tomorrow night, punk.
Main event of the night. Special announcement there. It's going to be the Fabulous Ones, Stan and Steve, with Jimmy Cornette, going against the King, Jerry Lawler, the Superstar, Bill Dundee, and the announcement just made by Jerry, Jeff Jarrett will be in their corner. Here comes Cornette right here. I don't want to hear it.
I'm warning you girls right now. You make one move to jump on the Fabs like I know you want to, and I'm going to hit you with a tennis racket. Let me tell you something. Who does Jerry Lawler think he is anyway, coming out here, running people down, making slurs? Jerry Lawler, you're just like the city of Memphis, Tennessee. You were built on a bluff, and you've been built ever since. You call yourself the king. Well, I'll tell you something. Who would want to be the king of a bunch of jerks like this? Who would want to be the king of Memphis, Tennessee, whose biggest claim to fame was a fat, overweight, overrated lounge singer that ate jelly donuts and peanut butter sandwiches until he keeled over? I'll tell you something, Lawler. This wasn't part of the deal. Jeff Jarrett wasn't supposed to be at ringside, and I'm protesting right now because I don't want that little bleach blonde. What?
Jimmy, I think you're just a little upset about little Jeff Jarrett. I'm not concerned about that little punk at all. He's still wet behind the ears. He's never paid any dues as far as I'm concerned in the wrestling business. And Jeff Jarrett, if there's one thing I hate, it's a pretty boy.
Hey, wait a minute. Steve Kern has just reminded me of something. Jeff Jarrett, you want to be down there Sunday night? You want to be at ringside with Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee? Then come on down there, because that makes the Mid-South Coliseum like one giant piggy bank for the Fabulous Ones. All our money right there in one spot. 50 grand for Jeff Jarrett, 50 grand for Jerry Lawler, and like I said, Bill Dundee, the little trial economy size, will take you for free, punk, because I'll tell you what, they're the World Tag Team Champions. They're so bad, they can strap a bucket of fried chicken on their back and ride a motor scooter across Ethiopia. And, brother, Sunday night, we're going to take some people out in style.
Jimmy Cornette and the Fabulous Ones. Jeff Jarrett will be at ringside with Lawler and Dundee. That is the main event. And, yes, the world titles will be at stake tomorrow night, Sunday night, 7:30 at the Memphis Mid-South Coliseum. We'll be back here with more in a moment.
Hello, I'm looking for...
In the ring right now, Freezer Thompson and his partner, Jeff Gaylord. Interesting pairing here as we await the arrival of part of the stud stable, the Tennessee stud, Robert Fuller, and his partner today is going to be the U.S. male who we met a little bit earlier. Bruno, I notice you're out here as part of the advance party, right?
Exactly. Dave, I just wanted to make an announcement. I don't want any of these hairy-legged, fat, ugly women from this area trying to jump up in the ring and drool and try to get a hold of the U.S. male, because he is, without a doubt, the best-looking man in professional wrestling, and he certainly doesn't want any of these toothless, bald-headed, fat, hairy-legged, hillbilly women from the Mid-South area to try to get their hands on him, because he does not want them to touch him. And by the way, the same thing goes for the Tennessee stud, Robert Fuller, and myself, Dave. So if you kind of spread the word around to all your girlfriends and people you associate with, I'd sure appreciate it, you redneck, you.
Bruno, I don't have to spread anything around. You do plenty of that all by yourself out here. The Tennessee stud, Robert Fuller, back in the USWA, handing out that 10-gallon hat of his, telling Bruno to take care of the hat and the sunglasses. The U.S. male. His name is Curtis Thompson. He was introduced.
Twice, didn't you, Dave? You're sitting over here saying you don't spread anything around. You've been spreading that bad breath around for years, Dave, ever since I've known you. Now, by the way, Dave, I want to tell you something. I wouldn't be in Jeff Jarrett or Jerry Lawler's shoes for all the soybeans in Missouri right now, brother, because what you got here is two of the best-looking guys, but also two of the toughest, roughest, meanest bounty hunters in the whole entire world. And if there's a bounty on anybody, these men are here to collect it. So Jarrett and Lawler, you guys would be much safer being over there, being a personal bodyguard for Saddam Hussein than you would be right here in the USWA at this point in time. Because these two fellas in the ring right here, I'm not talking about Gaylord and Freezer, I'm talking about the U.S. male and the Tennessee stud, have nothing on their minds except money. The money they're going to collect when they put Jerry Lawler and Jeff Jarrett out of professional wrestling. And Dave, you've known me for years now. I don't associate with losers. I associate with winners. What you got right up there in the ring is two of the biggest winners in professional wrestling today.
We've already talked about who you associate with, Bruno, in a previous match. We're waiting for a signal from the referee, and here we go. We are underway with another USWA tag team event.
Look at Freezer up there. He looks like a black neighborhood. What's he weigh, 575 pounds, Dave?
Robert Fuller, the Tennessee stud, one of the tallest people in professional wrestling, going against one of the largest in Freezer Thompson. Freezer Thompson, surprisingly agile, though, for a man as large as he is. Bruno, you can insult him all you want to, but...
it hurts your feelings because he kind of looks like your girlfriend, Dave.
Downtown Bruno with the comments over here. Tag is made, and the U.S. male is now coming in to take over. Robert Fuller says, hey, how about that? A nice, clean break. You saw that, referee. Remember it. Yeah, we better all remember it. It may be the last nice, clean break we see from Robert Fuller.
Now, see, Dave, you don't want to give anybody the benefit of the doubt. You understand? Look at that. Perfectly legal.
Bruno, let me say, you said it earlier. I've known you for a long time. I've known Robert Fuller longer than I've known you, and I know the kind of tactics he is capable of using. Not only is he capable of using, he uses them all the time.
And what you saw right there wasn't illegal. That was perfectly legal. In fact, he picked up that 716-pound man and slammed him as if he was a sack of feathers, Dave. Now, what do you have to say about that? You know, Freezer weighs over 800 pounds. He picked him up like he was nothing. That's strength, Dave. That's strength. The only thing strong about you is the breath. You and all these stupid hillbilly rednecks out here, all these Jews. I'm looking out in the audience. I bet there isn't 7 teeth between all these people. And the ones that are there are green, Dave.
Downtown Bruno. Look at Robert Fuller. Boot to the back. Stepping on Freezer Thompson's hand. And, you know, that's not illegal, but, boy, you know, what a cheap shot, huh?
No.
There's a fist. That's illegal.
No, it was an open hand, first of all, you liar. Second of all, when Freezer signed for this match,
here's another fist.
It wasn't going to be easy.
Another fist. And another. He's hit him 3 times with a double fist back in the corner. The referee trying to get a break. Now look out, the U.S. male comes flying over to the corner.
You talk about agility. That's agility right there. The U.S. male, baby. Look at that, Dave Brown. This guy's going to collect any bounty he wants to collect. I guarantee you. And there's nothing Jerry Lawler or Jeff Jarrett is going to be able to do about it, baby. I love it.
This U.S. male does look tough, and agility is a pretty doggone good word. Hate to agree with downtown Bruno on anything, but on that, I certainly have to agree with him. Freezer Thompson finds himself in trouble here. Jeff Gaylord has not been in this match. Jeff has not taken a tag in this entire match. He's left Thompson in there the whole way, battling against. There's a count of 3. This one is all over, and Freezer
Special
Thompson.
delivery, Dave. Special delivery. All the way down, every time.
2 minutes, 58 seconds, 2:58, and the winner goes to the Tennessee stud, Robert Fuller, and the new member of his stud stable, the U.S. Oh, what is this? Jeff Gaylord, who we just said hadn't been in that match. He is steamed at Freezer Thompson. What is this? He didn't even participate in the match, and he's jumping Freezer Thompson over there after Freezer has been beat up already by Robert Fuller in the U.S. male. Fuller's over here. Why do I get the sneaking suspicion that Fuller may have something to do with this? Jeff Gaylord, the Missouri Tiger, he's kicking the ring apart. Get him out of here before walls start falling down. Jeff Gaylord turned on his partner, Freezer Thompson, leaves him lying in the ring. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with more in a moment. A moment right here and check some of the action coming up around the territory. Tell you what, before we do that, Jerry and the new kids have asked me to remind you about the World of Wheels Custom Auto Show, which is at Cook Convention Center today and tomorrow. The new kids will be there this afternoon, and the king himself will be there from 1 to 4 tomorrow afternoon. That's the World of Wheels Custom Auto Show going on today and tomorrow at Cook Convention Center. Again, the new kids this afternoon, and Jerry will be there from 1 to 4 tomorrow afternoon. In Horn Lake, Mississippi, USWA action will be there. That is on Friday night, January 25th. It'll be at Horn Lake High School. It's kind of a combination event, a youth evangelism explosion. USWA Wrestling will have 4 matches as a part of that evening. The King will be there. The new kids will be there. Here comes Jerry right here. He may want to talk a little more about it. Also notice that John Bull Bramlett, great football player, college and pro football player, is also scheduled to be in Horn Lake, Mississippi. That's on Friday night, the 25th, and it will be at the high school. Jerry, you had something you want to say about that?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention a couple of things. As basically you've already mentioned it, it's going to be a youth evangelism explosion. It's kind of a special event. It's a first of its kind. Steve Albonetti called me from the church down there, and he had the idea. He wanted to get a lot of the young kids in the area to come down there, and he thought that maybe the wrestling would be a way to get them in, let them have a good time, but also we're going to have a message for them down there. I'm going to be talking to them between matches about, we have a war going on, of course, overseas right now in the Middle East, but there's also a war going on right here in this country, a battle for the youth of America, and I don't know if we're winning right now because the drug situation is so bad and getting out of hand, and I'm going to be down there to talk to the kids about that situation. Also, John the Bull Bramlett, which is one of the former great NFL star and a great friend of mine and just a great guy, played for the Denver Broncos, New England Patriots, and he is just a super guy. He's going to be there to talk to the kids about the difference that God has made in his life, and it's just going to be a neat situation. It's going to be wrestling and witnessing down at Horn Lake High School, and we want to say that they're targeting the youth of the area. The teenagers especially. So they're asking that you at least be 13 years old to attend this. But other than that, we want to invite all the kids to come on out and see us down there, Horn Lake High School, Friday the 25th, and it's going to be a real neat time.
Okay, very good. I know you're very excited about being a part of it because you talked about it a little bit earlier. Also, I guess we can go ahead and talk about the action coming up in Jonesboro while we're talking about out-of-town wrestling action.
I'm going to be over in Jonesboro, too.
Up to his old ways. Here's Matt Bourne. Yeah, what a disgusting display from
that guy. The guy obviously doesn't have any brains, and I happen to know for a fact that he was leading a demonstration up in Washington the other day about the war, anti-war demonstration. That goes to show you what kind of character that guy's got. He won't stand behind our president. He won't stand behind the American people. No. He's not behind us. He's not behind us. And, well, I guess what happens, happens.
I guess you're right. Matt Bourne headed up for the ring right now. He's set to go. We've got a one-fall, 10-minute time limit match scheduled here. He will be going against Sergeant O'Reilly. And again, as I indicated when we tried to talk to Jeff Gaylord, who obviously is on his own agenda out here today, only 2 ropes, only the top 2 ropes. Thanks to Mr. Gaylord, who, in a temper tantrum, broke the bottom rope. It's going to require welder's torch to put it back together, and we don't have a welder's torch handy at the moment. But we'll continue, as we've had to do many times in the past. Well, it makes it easy for Sergeant O'Reilly to find his way out of the ring and keep Matt Bourne off of him for a few minutes. Matt Bourne back Sergeant O'Reilly onto the rope. The referee is right there. Whoa, O'Reilly nailed him. He took advantage of him. As Matt Bourne was backing away, O'Reilly almost blindsided him. He'll pay for that. Let me tell you, look at Bourne go to work on him. He backs him under the rope, fires him across the way. Up high in the air, Sergeant O'Reilly bounces across the ring. Matt Bourne continues to work on it. We're about a minute into the action here. A 10-minute time limit match. 1 fall only for this one. New kids scheduled a little bit later on. Ooh, devastating move by Matt Bourne. Leads Sergeant O'Reilly kind of flying there. Lower part of the leg, and Matt Bourne continues to work on it. Interesting to see some of the great new talent that we had for you today on USWA Wrestling, and also some familiar faces who are back, Matt Bourne being one of them. I'm not sure it was great to see the Tennessee stud, Robert Fuller, but tough competition back in the territory. At least we have to give him that credit. The Fabulous Ones, of course, former favorites of everybody around here, and that despicable display last week when they turned on Jerry Lawler. We reviewed that earlier today, too. Jimmy Cornette they're associated with. And you're looking for bounties. Oh, Matt Bourne comes springing off the top rope. I don't think O'Reilly's going to get up from this one. There's a count of 3. This one is all over. Whatever happens, happens, said Matt Bourne as he started the ring. Well, that's happened right there. That Matt Bourne has decisively defeated Sergeant O'Reilly in a single match. The victory for Matt Bourne, the time on it, 2 minutes, 3 seconds. We'll take a break and be back with you in just a moment. Find out what's going on with the King. A question we hear a lot. Well, call the King's hotline. 1-900-654-KING or 1-900-654-5464. That's what King is, 5464. Again, the King's hotline, 1-900-654-5464. You can listen to what's going on with the King. There's even a way for you to leave him a message there when you call the King's hotline. Here's Terry Garvin and Reggie B. Fine out here.
Hey, Brown, I just got off the phone in the back there. I was talking to a friend of mine who works for the Goodyear Tire Company. And you know what? I just got Jerry Lawler a new job. You're supposed to report down to Houston for the blip blowing up detail. Because that's what you are, is full of hot air, Lawler. And they need a few of those blimps blown up since the playoffs and the Super Bowl are about to be here. Dave Brown, I am so sick and tired of listening to Jerry Lawler run his fat little mouth. I want to remind you, Lawler, that there's a $50,000 bounty on your head. Now, you've got to drive a car. You've got to pump gas. You've got to go in a store from time to time. It don't have to be in the wrestling ring. It can be anywhere that you get hurt. And you know what, Dave Brown? It makes me real happy to find out that Jeff Jarrett, your name's been added to that bounty list. You know what, Jeff? You make me sick. You got that silver spoon in your mouth, and I'm going to take you out, boy. Now, Reggie's going to introduce somebody to you, Dave Brown. I think you're going to pay attention.
That's Terry Garvin. Here's Reggie B. Fine.
Yes, I want to say one thing, but hey, you low budget, set up while I'm talking.
I
went to Africa and found one of the most biggest, vicious, ferocious gorilla I ever found in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, and Brother Brown, you too. I want to introduce to you Awesome Kong, 6'5", 555 pounds of gorilla, baby.
My goodness, he is huge as he comes walking through there. Greeted by Reggie B. Fine. Got the one of the strangest looking wrestling mask on I've ever seen. Awesome Kong. What did he say? 6'5", 550, how many pounds? Oh, boy, Awesome Kong and Terry Garvin, but coming into the area right now, the new kids, Brian and Tony, greeting the crowd as they head up to the ring apron. There they are right there, Brian and Tony. New kids already in the ring. There they are. There's Brian on the left. That's Tony closest to the camera. The referee, Scott Bowden, has had a tough day today, let me tell you, with some of these folks that have been in this ring today. And it looks like this match will be no exception with Terry Garvin and Awesome Kong in there. This man is huge. Wearing that scary-looking weird mask doesn't help either. I don't know if he can wrestle or not. That remains to be seen here as we go along. Terry Garvin starting for his team. Garvin with an interesting wrestling past. He can wrestle. He doesn't have near the size, though, that his partner does. I'm still amazed. Awesome is a pretty good word for the size of this Awesome Kong over in the corner. Well, back to the action here. Terry Garvin. Tony wrapping up that left arm. The new kids continue to give a fine accounting of themselves everywhere they go in wrestling matches, and also just out meeting the fans as they do around the territory. In Memphis and Louisville and Evansville and Nashville, anywhere around the territory.
I'm not responsible for this man action. I'm going to let y'all know they pay their own hospital bills.
Reggie B. Fine with a word about his latest find. Awesome Kong, who we have yet to see in the match, by the way. Terry Garvin. Oh, that arm wrapped up. Over to the corner goes Brian, makes the tag on Tony as the new kids send Terry Garvin into the ropes. They double up on him coming off of there. Oh, might be it. Nope. Terry Garvin able to. Oh, hey, nice move by the new kids. One right after the other, making a cover. That's not legal, but it was a good idea anyway. As soon as Garvin broke one cover and relaxed for a moment, the other of the new kids immediately went into a cover position trying for the 3 count. Didn't work out, but as I said, a good thought and a good demonstration of the quickness of Brian and Tony. Terry Garvin, big broad arm across the back. Tony reverses, puts him into the rope. Garvin ducked under a right fist. Oh, it drives him down to the mat. There's that veteran toughness from Terry Garvin. And a disregard for fair play also enters into that. But Garvin, goofy laugh he's got. Maybe you can hear that. He's pulling hair now. Oh, here's this Awesome Kong with that big broad arm coming off the rope. Oh, forearm. Tony down to the mat. Awesome Kong fires him into the ropes again. Awesome Kong. Reggie B. Fine yelling he hopes that the new kids have their insurance all paid up. Terry Garvin back in after a tag. Awesome Kong showing the strength of the broad arm on a couple of occasions there. What is this with Garvin? He body slammed Tony, left him in the middle of the ring, and then backed away. I suppose he just wasn't ready to pin him. He's standing up on the middle rope. Here he comes. Hey, and there goes Tony. Moved out of the way. Reggie B. Fine Puts his hand over his eyes as if to say, oh, no, why didn't he take that count of 3 when he had it? And that's maybe a little lesson there. Ryan sends Garvin into the ropes. Dumps him over the back coming off of there. Time beginning to be a factor in this match. Look at this, all 4 of them in there. The new kids both going after this Awesome Kong. Awesome Kong is awesome in size, but he is also maybe awesomely slow. Tony popped him with the right hand. Look out, here's Brian up on the ropes. He springs off of there. Good drop kick. Garvin calling for Reggie B. Fine, who just jumps in the ring. That is going to be a technical loss right there. The new kids are going to win it. We got to take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment.
Bankruptcy.
The new kids get the victory. What a day today. Lots of new talent in the USWA. Lots of returning talent in the USWA. Victories today with the fabulous ones, the Pit Bulldogs. Look out for them. Robert Fuller and U.S. Mail, Matt Bourne, and, of course, as we said, the new kids won their match, too. We'll have more great USWA action for you coming up next week. We do hope you'll be joining us then. And until then, I'm Dave Brown. So long, everybody.